Hello there, friends and sane persons, and welcome to another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. My name is Kyle, and Wednesday Whimsy is a short show that I do every Wednesday evening where I talk about a board game, a top 10 list, or some other board game related topic, whatever happens to be on my mind, and apparently I play with my tassel. Uh, well, today, so last week I did the quarterly countdown, and today I'm going to talk about one of the games I talked about there. I talked about it a little bit. I talked about it on my sort of best of Dice Tower retreat. Talked about it on Quarterly Countdown. I'm going to talk about it today in a little bit more detail, and that game is Tag Team. Unlike some of the games I talk about here, I can hold the whole game up really easily because it is light and small. So I'll tell you a little bit about it, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. Let's go. So what is it about? Well, thematically, I'm not sure. In the back of the box, it just says it's some fighters. That's pretty much how the game works, right? I mean, this is a game about you're going to make teams of 2 fighters, and then you're going to fight. There's not really a reason why they're fighting. I don't know what the goal is, but you've got 2. There's a box full of these fighters. You're going to pick 2, make up a team, smash their decks together, and try and take out your opponent. So how does it work? Well, that is sort of where the fun of Tag Team comes in. Let me pull this up, and I can see if I can show some pictures. Share screen. I don't know why I always have trouble with this. Here we go. So right here you'll see kind of some pictures of Tag Team, right? So you've got 2 fighters. Each player has 2 fighters. That's your tag team, I guess. And your 2 fighters, they're each going to have each one has a deck of cards. And you're going to take those 2 decks of cards and you'll shuffle them together. Now, there is one starting card in each deck. And that starting card is, well, it starts in play because it's the starting card. And then you don't really have turns in this game. You're going to choose among the 2 starting cards you have which one you want to come out first, which one second. And then you're going to, each player is going to flip the top card of their deck. And that card is going to tell you who is attacking and what they're doing, who's active, what they're doing. For example, here, Terror of the Seas. This says you're going to do something based upon how many ships this character has. And then you're going to increase your ship track by 1. Ships are her kind of unique ability. And as she gets more and more, you'll see that her attacks get more and more powerful. And each card, you'll see one really nice thing here is it's going to tell you exactly what they do in symbols that are pretty good symbols, and then in words that are easy to read. And you'll see this one, for example, you have 0 to 7 ships, attack. If you have 8 to 15, heal 2 HP. And if you have 20 ships, you do direct damage equal to all of their health minus 1, and then go back to 0 ships. So you'll see that she's really trying to sort of get there because you're going to win the game as soon as you KO one of your opponents. Oh, that's very blurry. And each of the different fighters has something different like that. She's about her ships. This is Mordred. This is must be a promo character. Mordred is in the game, but he looks different. And his sort of thing is he doesn't start with any attack, but he's going to slowly build up, and eventually he's going to get himself to be very powerful. And then he has sort of attacks that will attack when, if no one else, if your other players don't attack, then he gets to, or things like that. So, there's that. There's one guy who's trying to set people on fire, and he just wins outright if he gets somebody all the way inflamed. There's one weird guy who's kind of flipping this coin, and the coin will determine whether he's building himself up or attacking. It's various things, right? The golem is all about protection. The most kind of memorable one is this guy here, this Bödvar, and he's trying to turn into a bear. And if he does, he will wreck you, but he's got a really short lifetime, so he's got to sort of build and focus on that bear. Anyway, really what you're doing is, like I said, you're going to flip the cards and do what they say, and then you'll flip the cards and do what they say. At that point, you will have gone through the deck. Then you're going to draw 3 cards from the sort of smashed up deck, because you took each fighter's deck and shovelled them together. You're going to draw 3 cards, and you're going to choose one to add to the mix. You're going to either put it on top of the deck, in the middle, or on the bottom. And you only have 2 cards, so it's going to be either the first, second, or third card in your deck. And then you'll go into round 2. You'll flip a card, do what it says. Flip a card, do what it says. Flip a card, do what it says. And then you're going to draw 3 cards more. And now you're going to choose where to put that new card in. And so you're slowly building this deck, and you're thinking about, okay, I know what my opponent is doing, and I know the order they're doing it in, so I'm going to try and slip this card in at the right place to kind of mess with the plan, because if you can sort of get them out of sync, then that'll help. Or if you can, you want, oh, right, they're blocking here, they're attacking here, so I have a block, I want to put the block in. Or, they've got kind of a dead turn here because they're just charging something up. I want to use that to really pummel them, or whatever it happens to be. So there's a little bit of surprise going on, but it's very important that you never shuffle your deck. It's always going to be the same, and you're just sort of slowly expanding the order in which this pre-programmed set of things occurs. Eventually, someone's going to be defeated. You'll reduce their health to 0, to the KO spot on their board, and then you win the game. That's kind of how it works. So what makes it special? Well, one thing that's really special about this game is all the different fighters. I don't know that I've counted them. I think there are 12. It says right here, 12 fighters. There are 12 different fighters. I've played with or against every fighter, but not in every combination, obviously. And they're all wildly different, and they're all fun in their own special way. There's one lady, we talked about the bear guy. We talked about the pirate ship lady. There's one lady who has this sort of wild trap card token. So she's going to draw these tokens, she's going to place them out, and at various points on her health track, when she loses certain amounts of health, she'll reveal them and do something great for her. There's some cowboys, and they have an interesting feature in that they have a really short health track, but every space has sort of a halt symbol on it. And so whenever they're taking, it doesn't matter how much damage they're taking, they're always taking 1, because you'll always stop when you move to the next one. So they're going to require sustained damage over many turns, which might allow them a little bit more time than they would otherwise have on that short health track. I mean, everybody has their own thing, and they're all really fun, and they're all really different. And even the most complex one, I think they have like a 1 to 5 complexity scale. Even the most complex ones are not that complex. So there's a lot of variety here, and it's a good variety. It's fun. They're characters that you feel like you know, right? I mean, after you played with them. And it's a lot of fun to sort of try a different set and see how it goes. So good variety. Rules here are dead simple. I've really explained them all. It's really just flip a card, do what it says, and then eventually choose one of 3 cards to throw into the mix, and then repeat that process. I could teach this game in 5 minutes, and we could be playing it. Also, it's really short. It's not, I mean, you're probably going to go through your deck maybe 5 times. There's no way, the game can end if you run completely out of cards and can't draw 3 at the end of the round, but I've never seen that come even close to happening. I mean, unless you were playing against characters, 4 characters with a really large life bar who just kept healing, it's very unlikely that it'll last more than just a few rounds. And that's the perfect length, because you'll get a great taste of, okay, this was fun. Now I want to do it again. I want to try something else. I want to focus on a different character. Oh, that one felt overpowered. I want to play with that one. They all feel kind of overpowered in their own way. And that's, again, part of the fun here. So it's very simple, very fast, a lot of fun. And then also, I can't say this enough. I already mentioned it as I was talking about how the game works. But each card, it's immediately clear what it does. It will tell you in symbols, and it will tell you the same thing in words. So you won't, I mean, once you've read it once, you'll know what the symbols mean. But it's amazing because you don't have to sort of sit and think, okay, what does this one do? If I ask a question, it'll throw off what I have. There's not a table of symbols that you have to sort of find one. It's really easy. There's 1 or 2 that have kind of some special rules on them, but there's a nice little character guide that comes with it as well. Let me see if I can find it here. And it just tells you, it takes each character and it says, here are the characters, and I can find out about Shango on page 3. And then, here are all of the things Shango does. and it just explains it for me. So if I were curious or didn't know how things were working, I could easily come here. There's an FAQ that pretty much answers all the questions. I've never found something in here where I was like, oh my goodness, how does this work? A couple of the characters are a little bit more, require a little bit more expose, but I love that it's all there. It's all in the box. Everything you need to play is here. I love almost everything about this game. So where's the but? Yeah, there really isn't one. I mean, I'm stretching to find things I don't like about this game. The playtime's great. Okay, storage. The game is in a small box, and it's just, there's no insert. There's not like a separate little box for everybody, so I've got to buy some plastic bags and write their names on them. I wish there were a better way to store the characters, but they're all going to fit in the box. The other thing, I guess, I wish there were maybe 10 more characters. I think this game would really, look, with 12, that's a good number for a starting set. But I think the game is going to just really thrive off of variety. So I think if we got another 10 characters, another 12 characters, I think the game would be perfect. It would be at just the right level that you could really have a good time and just go to town on this game. But again, the only two negatives I can say are that I want more and that I wish the box had a better way to keep everything organized. There's nothing in the gameplay that I really can say anything badly about. It also looks great. I didn't mention that in the specials. I guess I can. The artwork's great here too. And also I love that these are characters that aren't from something. This isn't like, slave to a particular IP or a particular type of fantasy. It's just characters. And look, I love IP characters too, but I just think this really works well in just sort of being these characters. You recognize what they're trying to be, but they're not parodies or anything. It's just, here's a character. Have fun with them. So what's my final rating? Well, if it couldn't, if it didn't come across as I was discussing it, I really love this game. This game was an insta-buy for me. And this is just the kind of game I like. I mean, I am a sucker for two-player head-to-head games. This is a two-player head-to-head game. I love games with different sort of asymmetrical characters. This is a game with different asymmetrical characters. I love games with characters that feel widely overpowered but really aren't and are well-balanced and fun to play. This is that. I like games I can teach and play quickly. This is that. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. This is a game that I just wish there were more. I mean, this is right up there with Unmatched or Summoner Wars or games of that variety that I just want to go to and are the first thing I think of when somebody comes over and says, I want to play a game. And I don't want to, I don't want to play something like I've played before. This is that. Anyway, so 10 out of 10 for me. Obviously, try it before you buy it. But even if you bought it, I mean, it's probably $20. I don't remember what I paid for mine, but it can't have been much more than that. It's just a few cards in a box. So, I mean, this is a game that you could, if it sounds like you're going to like it, you probably really are. But I still think you should try it even if you don't think you are. Anyway, 10 out of 10 for me. And that's going to end it for this week's Wednesday Whimsy. I'm going to be back next time, and I'm going to be starting, hopefully, my top 100 games of all time for 2025. This is, of course, a project I do every other year. So we'll talk about some games. Maybe Tag Team will show up. Maybe it won't. We'll see. We'll see what else is on there. But that's what I'm going to be doing sort of for the next month or so, is focusing on getting my top 100 out the door. And I hope you'll enjoy that. But anyway, until next time, I'm going to wish you safe travels, courage when you need it, and I hope to see you again soon on another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. Bye-bye.